Hello everybody and welcome back to Muramasa the Demon's Blade. This is the alternate endings. These endings you get for equipping the Threads of Fate and Descent into Misery, the first two swords that you get from beating the game. Now there is a way to tell that you know you got the right swords. First off, the swords on the top bar there glow green. Or not green, white. How the hell did I get green? And you'll instantly know when you get the alternate endings because the starting cutscenes are different. So if you remember from way back in episode 1 or 2 of Momohime's chapter, she makes mention that Kongiku makes mention that she stole the Muramasa mask. And this whole time, Yuzuruha has been looking for her. So now, with this in mind, I honestly want to say that these alternate endings were originally supposed to be the canon endings. Mainly by merit of, what am I looking for here? Throughout the whole game, throughout the whole main game, you see the other character during the plot line. You see Kisuke as Momohime, and you see Momohime as Kisuke. I feel like those were alluding to the fact that you would eventually duel each other as the only two people that know the Oboro style. Now, I think this got changed solely because the hot tub scenes are entirely optional. They are not required to beat the game. So those probably got turned into alternate endings just because there's a very high chance people won't see them. But that's purely speculation on my point. Also, poor Kongiku, she's tied up. I also like how they make you know that it's Kongiku by both giving her eyes a slight orange tinge and putting the orange leaf on her forehead. Well, yeah, the funny thing about the story, no one else is here. Yukinoja's not here, Rankai's not here, and you're not gonna fight, Fudomio. And yeah, Momohime actually makes reference of the hot springs. And this is the whole time why I've been really curious about the timelines of these games. Because based on the hot springs and this encounter, it really does seem like these two stories kind of go, at the very least, slightly parallel to each other. This also kind of gives a little bit of credit to the thought that I think Momohime's story was kind of a slight add-on. Because Kisuke doesn't really talk a lot here. I think he gets one line in both the opening cutscene and another line elsewhere. There's something about this that I like. This is a very classic, samurai movie thing to do. It's like, who is the true inheritor of this martial arts style? But yeah, for these endings, you fight the other player. Now, not gonna lie, the AI for these characters are kinda stupid. For Momohime's fight, I actually fight this legit. Now here's an interesting thing, you cannot quick draw them. Because since they know the same sword style you do, they know how to counter it, ergo they neutralize your primary ability. Now here's a ability we don't have yet. It is a huge projectile spam attack leading into a giant air slash. And I always run away from it because that shit hurts. it will break your sword and it will bring you down to a pittance of life. Now the big gimmick of this fight is that you can't damage Kisuke until you break his sword, because that's how your mechanics work. And by doing so, he doesn't have a lot of HP to begin with. I think he only gets 2 HP bars, or 3 HP bars, considering this one and the 2 that you have to remove from that bar. But if you have swords that actively are designed to break swords, you could put the pressure to Kisuke and he won't be able to respond. Now, each of the duels has something interesting. For one, Kisuke has a life absorb ability. If he ever pulls out the sword that gives off the orange and green flame, if he hits you, he restores a little bit of HP back. He cannot restore an HP bar through it, but it can stall the fight a little bit if you get caught in a combo by him. His other swords aren't really as impressive. You've seen his only weapon art with the tornado slash here. I call it tornado slash, but it's not what I'm looking for. But he has one other secret art that we don't see in either of these fights, but we will see it eventually. He can also do the sword breaker to you too, but if you're like me, you don't really guard to begin with, so it doesn't really matter that all much. He can't exactly lock you into it either, so it doesn't do as much damage as you would when you do it. But yeah, if you fight the other character traditionally, it's gonna be kind of a long fight. Mainly because if you what are the words I'm looking for? If you don't time your combos just right, the other character will recover the sword really quickly, and then it's right back to breaking the sword again. And that's not a bad problem. It's like the fight with Yuki Nojo. It's a fight one-on-one. I really like the fight a lot, and it's well designed. I can't find much of a flaw with it outside of the fact that he has auto guard when he has a sword up, which is mildly frustrating. There are certain techniques that are designed to auto guard break a sword, and if you bring those along with the bracelet of the Diva King, then Kisuke doesn't really stand a chance. But yeah, the other interesting thing is that when AI sword gets broken, they actively run away because they too have to follow the same rules as you. Now, you saw that little cyclone slash there? That is actually a command grab. That is the other sword art that I mentioned the other character will have. And we're not going to see it on either of the fights. We will see it eventually, and oh boy, does it hurt if you're not prepared for it. I will also make mention that out of the 2 swords that the alternate player character has, you get one of the arts, but for whatever reason you don't get the other sword art, and it kind of makes me sad a little bit. Because to be fair, both are really cool, and I kind of wanted to have both, but you'll only get one. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, if you break his sword then do a quick draw, he cannot counter you, which could be really helpful if you want to get damage out. I should also make mention that a good 4 out of the 5 projectiles from that attack will home in on your area. It doesn't home in on you, it just goes to where you were last at when it was released. On. That kind of made me sad. I broke a sword and then he instantly recovers and uses this attack again, which is a nightmare to deal with. It's a little sad that this ends on such a slow note. There we go. Now, for beating Kisuke, we actually get a sword. Something I should have done a long time ago. We get the Blade of Tortured Souls. And now prepare for one of the most depressing endings, in my opinion. Out of all 6 endings, this one is the most just It's so sad. Nothing goes right here. For one, Kisuke dies. I don't like that. Two, that little final attack basically completely fucks up Jinkaro and Momohime's body. But there's a reason why Jinkaro makes mention of the soul fusion technique.
Momohime, koi.
So not only does Kisuke die, Jinkaro fades from reality. He gives up his own life to save both Momohime and his sword style. Hard to tell which he prioritizes, but I think you have an idea, viewer. Now, not only does Kisuke and Jinkaro die, well, Jinkaro's technically not dead, but he is faded from reality. He will not reincarnate whatsoever, because he is now a part of Oboro's soul. There's a reason why they call her Oboro, because Momohime lost her memory. So effectively, 3 people died. We've lost Kisuke, we lost Jinkaro, and we lost Momohime. At the very least, Oboro gets a very nice lifestyle. These 2 old people, they were kind of depressed and they found her unconscious in the middle of the road. So now these 2 old people are very happy that they got a quote-unquote second daughter. And Oboro gets a nice and calm life at a tea shop. Now what's this fox doing here? You never really get a name for the old man and woman, and it's reusing the assets from the game. It's still a nice thing to have, though. But yeah, Oboro still remembers fragments of her memory. Like, she remembers Jinkaro and she remembers the word Oboro. But there are slight ripples from Jinkaro's death. Namely, Kongiku is still here. Kongiku actually keeps visiting Oboro to see if Jinkaro is still alive. She's not as warm to Oboro, though. I keep wanting to call her Momohime. I should call her Momohime, but technically her name is Oboro now, because it's a totally different person with a totally different personality. It's the amnesia trip that you see in most cartoon shows from Japan. Now, for whatever reason, this happens. There's a funny little theme of things repeating themselves here, because Momohime once again finds herself about to be eaten by a demon. Granted, this is the only second time that this has occurred, but still, it's relatively amusing. Now, I remember a couple people from an old stream of mine that I did for Muramasa. They make mention that these little vignettes are very strange in some ways. And I kind of agree here, because, much like in other fights, you're gonna be talking to the boss before a, big plot-revealing circumstance. And it kind of stands to be a little strange that why doesn't the demon here just grab Oboro and eat her once I talk to him? We also have to talk to all three of the demons, which is a little silly. And these two voices are so doofy that I can't help but laugh. Also, this line is so silly. Why would you even say that? Is a human butt a demon delicacy? I don't know. What? Now, luckily enough, Momohime kept her promise. A consequence of the soul fusion technique, much like with Kisuke, is that Oboro now perfectly remembers the Oboro style of swordplay. It's the only thing she remembers aside from Jinkara's name. And this is the little sequel hook that they leave off on for Momohime slash Oboro. But yeah, this is kind of why it's the saddest ending. Even when Oboro finds this new life and a new calm lifestyle, she eventually has to give it up because she is too dangerous for her newfound grandparents. And yeah, this was a good 6 months after the events at Rankai's temple. And that is how Momohime's alternate end occurs. 3 people dead, she has no memory, and all she could do now is just wander aimlessly. It's kind of a buzzkill. And yeah, that explains where Momohime got the sword that she killed the demon with. It was originally the old man's. And yeah, Kongiku sticks around with Momohime. She's not a kitsune anymore, though. I believe she still faced her punishment and was demoted into a regular fox. Now, typically we would get a credits roll here, but it's the same as Momohime's first one. But we will see those at the final endings. I'm not going to show you the credits just yet. Now, for Kisuke's story, it is a heel turn, because Kisuke's alternate ending is way more positive than Momohime's. Almost to the degree of comical tiers of positivity. But yeah, from Momohime's alternate sword, we get a new sword as well, but not much. Now, I did mention a bunch of ifs when Momohime fought Kisuke, but I'll discuss the gameplay reasoning once we get to it. For now, let's just enjoy Kisuke meets Momohime.
性にそれほど執着しようとは、しとて浮世は捨てきれぬようじゃのう。わからぬか？かような姿じゃ無理もない。
Yeah, we finally learned Jinkuro's full name. He is Izuna Jinkuro. Izuna is a name I see a lot in, well, not a lot, but frequently in some Japanese stories. Don't quite know why, but I figure it's something to bring up. But yeah, so Jinkuro has completely taken over Momohime's body, doesn't give a fuck anymore, killed the shogun, and now wants to go to heaven to become a godling, which was his original plan when he went to what's it called, to fight Raijin. Now, luckily, Torahime is perfectly fine. Unlike in the original ending, Torahime got here early, but the shogun didn't outright kill her. Now, I can't remember if they allude to the fact earlier or not. I think they actually do during either Kisuke or Momohime Act 4, but this is another clue that says Momohime and Torahime are indeed siblings. But yeah, this is a alternate reality where Jinkuro has gone mad with power. You can kind of see it with Momohime's the body of Momohime's face. I like that line there. You don't want to get hurt, you'll pay attention to me while I'm still being nice. And much like before, we're gonna fight Momohime. Now this fight is hilarious because I discovered something in the middle of this fight that blows my mind. Mainly, the AI for these two are really stupid. I tried doing my normal shit, but I forget when it happens, but I figure out an AI loophole that effectively trivializes these boss fights, and it's almost sad in a way. Because Momohime is actually surprisingly aggressive compared to Kisuke. Now, I do remember learning at a point... Oh! So I believe I caught her right as she was recovering with a new sword, and that's why the quick draw didn't work. Right about here, I believe. Ah, no. I'll explain it when it occurs, but yeah, the fight is in no way different. I believe Momohime is a bit more aggressive and has a lot more power compared to Kisuke's fight. But she doesn't have the health recovery, I don't think? Yeah, right about here, I learned a weird AI loop with the character clone boss fights. I don't think character clone's a good idea, but the AI has a terrible, terrible loop. Namely, when you're doing any kind of ground slash, whether it's the simple stab or charging up for an armor breaker, they hold up for a guard, as if they're expecting you to attack them. Now, if you catch the characters while their sword is broken, you can put them in a loop just by spamming your auto attack leading into a down stab, and it just completely breaks them. It's insane how effective it is. Like, the moment I realize that, I think, wow, I've been afraid of nothing this whole time. I mean, granted, it's almost expected. When in game development, making an AI for a character that's supposed to play like a player character, making the AI is really tough, mainly because you don't cover enough of what a player can do, mainly the idea of changing strategies and the like, so you only do what you can. And by doing this, I found a loophole in their AI. And by beating Momohime, we get the Shimmering New Moon. Now this ending's a little bit more positive. Momohime's fine. Unfortunately, Jinkaro dies. Like, I don't even think he goes to hell or gets reincarnated. He just straight up fades away. But by doing so, Torahime's task on this earth, given to her by Buddha, is complete.
この世を去ったと思ったあなたが生きて戻り、こうして最後に巡り会ったのも、きっと御仏のお導き。
Torahime is such a nice lady.
何から一体話したものか。語らいたいことは尽きぬというのに、間もなく約束の刻限。九頭竜を封じた後は、天涯孤独のあなたを置いて、阿弥陀様のもとに戻らねばなりません。
But yeah. Because we completed the task that Torahime was brought back to Earth for, she's gonna die. Die in a loose sense. She's basically gonna go to serve Lord Buddha in the afterlife. However, things are going to be very different.
無数の魂魄をお送りいただいたばかりか、九頭竜封じのご助力まで。
We also had to punish that fox, that really crafty character. You don't care about her, though, do you?
仕方ねえから、もうしばらくこの世で暴れるとするか。
それは何よりでございます。
But yeah, with this ending, Kisuke is effectively now Momohime's retainer. Unfortunately, Momohime doesn't have her ranking anymore. She's not considered nobility out in her province. I don't know how they survive beyond this, because I don't know where she gets her money. But yeah. Oh yeah, they make mention of this. Momohime effectively has nothing but the clothes on her back. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Kisuke, with that little, with your grimace, your face looking as sour as it is, you do kind of look like a thug. But while I consider this the most positive ending for Kisuke, it's not without its somber moment. Kisuke has to live out the rest of his days knowing that he can never have the love of his life. And he even doubts wondering if it was worth falling in love with her. Which is really tragic for him, honestly. In a way, this is honestly the best and worst ending for Kisuke. I say it's the best because, now that he's retainer of he's the retainer for Momohime, she has unusual goals. So, her last ambition on this world, for her to live out her time on this material plane, she wants to stop the evil of the Muramasa blades. So in essence, Kisuke and Momohime become Batman. Also, here's an NPC I bet you forgot about. It's Oiran! When I first saw this, I was actually kinda glad that she made a return because she was the only character of this nature in the game, and she had a name. So I'm kinda glad that they gave her some of the spotlight. But yeah, this is mainly good for a good ending for Kisuke because he's actually doing good in this world. And he's having fun with it. He's having a lot of fun being Batman now. Like, even after everything's said and done, he's still a cheeky bastard. Jirozeimon, I feel like that's a name I should know, but I don't quite know why. But yeah, remember Kagotsurube, the Blade of Hopelessness. That comes into play later. Oh, there's only about 108, Kisuke, don't worry. You're almost done. Hello, Oiran, how you liking the spotlight? So yeah, this is Kisuke's second ending, the alternate one. He joins up with Momohime to become a hero of justice and save the world from the evil that is the Muramasa Blades. Now the funny thing is, I should have mentioned this with the first Kisuke ending, but the narrator likes to treat Kisuke's story like a comic book in some ways, and you can definitely see it in this ending. Okay, so maybe I lied. They found 1,000 Muramasa blades. How'd that happen?
妖刀村正忍法帳これより百鬼妖刀千本塚と名を変えて喜助と桃姫の妖刀探しの旅は続きますなれど今宵は夜も更けました続きはまたのお楽しみ
Now, for whatever reason, alongside the ending credits, Kisuke gets one extra scene. Remember this guy? I sure do. This is actually a reference to the story of Muramasa in real life. I made mention that there was a famous story where a blade forged by Muramasa was rumored to drive someone mad and murder someone, and they directly mention that here. Remember how I said it's like a comic book? But yeah, there's one more ending. We have to hunt down that last Muramasa blade. See you folks next time.